everyone. Welcome to the Leader's Edge. I'm your host, Steve Steele, where we dive into insights and principles that will supercharge your leadership and ignite your personal growth. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur, a leader navigating change, or even a seasoned pro, this show's for you. Each episode is packed with practical strategies designed to elevate your mindset and amplify your leadership impact. So get ready for actionable steps that can put you into practice immediately. And a huge shout out to all of our amazing listeners. Thank you so much for your unwavering support. So let's get started and unlock your true potential. Oh my gosh. Today, my guest is not your average mentor. He is a full-blown movement wrapped in style, strategy, and unapologetic purpose. He's the kind of man who walked out of the foster care system without a safety net and said, "Bet I'll make my own." And he did, brick by brick, lesson by lesson. Pain flipped into power like it owed him interest. Mr. U doesn't just talk about transformation. He is transformation in designer frames and a perfectly curated fit. Author, speaker, visionary, creative, community disruptor. He's a community disruptor, but don't get it twisted. He's not your polished, but life was easy. He's polished, but pressure refined him. He's the voice in the room that makes young men sit up and straighten. The mentor who doesn't babysit excuses. He dismantles them. The creative who you can style, shoot you, brand you, and then turn around and teach you how to monetize your purpose. Mr. U has this rare, almost unsettling ability to see potential in people before they see it in themselves, and then call it out so boldly you don't have a choice but to rise or run. And most don't run because something about his story makes you believe yours can change too. From navigating abandonment to becoming a builder of men, from surviving systems to creating systems, he embodies what it means to rewrite your narrative without asking permission. He's not here to fit into spaces. He's here to shift them. And if you're anywhere in his proximity, mentally, physically, or spiritually, understand this. This man is not your average mentor. He's a full-blown movement wrapped in style, strategy, and unapologetically purpose. The creative who can style you, he can shoot you, he can brand you. I want everyone to welcome to me from the green room, Mr. Rondregus. Mr. U, Underwood. Mr. U, you're here.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, did I say your first name right? Rondregus? Or how do you say your first name?
Rondregus. Steve, you was actually pretty close. I mean, right. I've heard
Rondregus. Got it. Okay, cool. Mr. U, oh my gosh. It's been, I think we were talking before the show, it's been a year that we've kind of been working together, kind of sharing stories and being in different platforms. It is so good to have you here on our show. Golly,
absolutely, Steve.
I cannot believe you're here. I'm like so happy you're here. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Mr. U, I was reading your bio earlier, and it's just a powerful bio. You're just an amazing man. I know you have done a lot. I know there's a lot of things that's come up in your life, and we're going to kind of start from the beginning. Yes, I really want our audience to know who you are, and I really want them to know where you started from. So I want you to take your time. There's no rush. Take your time and just tell our viewers and our audience where you started. And we're going to work through that process throughout the show, find out where we're at today.
Okay,
does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, kind of tell your story, Mr. U. I keep telling you Dr. U, and I want to tell the audience this. I started calling Mr. U Dr. U a year ago, and I haven't got it out of my head yet, because to me, he's a doctor in this whole thing of personal growth, and a doctor in this whole thing of understanding how to grow in yourself and how to help other people grow. So, absolutely. Dr. U, take it away, brother. Take it away.
Absolutely. Steve, man, first and foremost, I just want to thank you and just pay homage to your due diligence as well, your accolades and all of the things that you've achieved, man. I've seen you grow so much over the last year since I've known you, and you've inspired me so much. So thank you for the opportunity to share this platform, man. I'm so excited. And it's crazy because we're both speakers, right? So
Yeah.
I like to lead people off telling people like what you guys see today. This wasn't always who I've been as far as
Yeah.
speaking and just telling my story, using it for empowerment. But I started off in the foster care system, man. I grew up in this small town of Montgomery, Alabama, and both of my parents had really a hard time with finding stability, right? Back in the early 80s, right? So my mom kind of like separated from my dad and we moved to Montgomery, Alabama, which is, the bigger city in Alabama outside of Clanton. And yeah, my mom just had a hard time finding stability, man, battling drugs and different abusive relationships. But she ended up losing us to the state. And, pretty much little that I know, there was a journey ahead of me that I really didn't have no idea how to prepare for. But anyway, well, when they came,
Well, you said us. Who else? Do you have brothers and sisters as
yes, I
well?
have brothers and sisters. There's actually five of us. Yeah,
So she did she lose all five of you at the same time, or?
yes, yes, sir.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
And it is crazy because as kids, you don't know when your household is struggling.
Right. Right.
You just being a kid and just playing and enjoying just the simple things. But yeah, my mom was struggling, Steve, and lost us to the state of Alabama. They came in and split us up, and that was the
Oh,
really
wow.
really scary part about going into the system is when they split us up and put us in these different homes and with strangers that we didn't know. So it was a scary time in my life, right? And then it wasn't just the one foster home. They moved us to separate foster homes. I think some foster homes were just temporary, right? So we experienced different cultures, different ethnicities, different family lifestyles. With
Mr.
this,
You, how old were you when that all happened?
I was 7 years old.
7. And you were
Yes,
just
sir.
thrust into a new environment with somebody you didn't know. No brothers and sisters with you? Were you by yourself, or did you have a brother with
No,
you?
I had a younger brother with me.
Okay.
My younger brother right up under me. Him
Uh-huh.
and I have the same father, so they
Okay,
put him
gotcha.
and I in the same. They always put me and him together.
Okay, so when you're in that process, though, were you able to see your other siblings at times, even though they
It
were in
was
different
it was
homes?
it was very seldom where we had visitations,
Is
right?
that
Because
right?
yeah, yes, sir. Because some of us, like we was when we were split up, some of us we were split up far, like from like I know, uh,
Oh,
yeah, it was like a distance away, like
wow.
across Alabama. So it was it
Yeah.
was. I mean,
Not like
the
going
fact that
across town.
you asked that is making me think like the distance that was between us, and then the times we did have opportunity to have visitation, it was always at a DHR or one of those child protective services like departments or locations. But
Right.
it was a lot of crying, Steve. It was a lot of crying.
Oh,
Anytime that
man.
we did have a chance to visit with our mom, or she was able to come to the DHR office, and anytime we just had those visitations, it was a lot of crying, a lot of, I think confusion, just wanting to understand, wanting to know what was going on, right?
And it's a constant tearing away, too, because if your mom comes and sees you and visits you, then you know that she's going to have to leave again. And you don't know when
Yeah,
you're going to see her again. And so
yeah,
it's this constant tearing of your heart. It
yeah,
just pulls you apart. I can't
yeah,
imagine at 7 or 8 years old
yeah.
how you deal with that, Mr. You. How do you deal with it? I don't imagine that.
Man, I still can't answer that question. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how did we deal with that? I mean, I think it was just one day at a time,
Mm-hmm.
just really trying to find, any trust or any hope that we can,
Mm-hmm.
try to live in the moment, enjoy whatever fun moments that the foster parent was able to give us, and just, I don't know, just navigate the best we can. I mean, being the oldest son and having a little brother with me, it was tough. I mean, just
Yeah.
being that example and trying to stay strong for him.
Oof.
And
If
yes,
you were 7, how old was he?
man, my little brother, so I'm 41 now, so he's like 38, 39.
Oh my gosh, he was
So
just really little then.
yeah, he was really little. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow, brother.
yeah. And we
Wow.
aged up in the system. Like you know, being this age now, and I can remember so many stories. I can remember so many moments, Steve, and I thank God for that because I had to share these moments on stages.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I think back, it just seems like it went by so fast.
Yeah.
Just reflecting, it seemed like we endured it. It wasn't all bad. Like it was some dramatic moments and some scary moments and some moments we got in trouble and being
Mm-hmm.
kids and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. But overall, it just seems like it went by so fast, and God just to know God knew what He was doing all along. Now I'm able to have such great peace with it and use it for good. Right now
Well,
that I
yeah.
have an overall bigger bird's eye view of what was going on and how God brought us through that, because He had something that He had in mind or something He knew that He had for me to do with using that story. So you know,
I love the fact that you bring God into it, because
absolutely,
we're not afraid here on the
absolutely,
Leader's Edge to talk about that. We're not a religious show, but we're a show that believes in faith. And
for
a
sure,
person's faith
for
typically,
sure. It's hard.
that drives their.
It's hard for me not to, Steve, because
Oh, I love
I
it.
think it's just certain aspects of life where we just can't navigate that. We can't make that stuff up on our own.
No, exactly.
It's hard for me not to talk about God, because I know just from a spiritual aspect, not religious, spiritual
Mhm.
aspect,
Right, right,
it was no way that I could have saw myself through that.
right.
Because if it was up to me, man, I would have gave up a long time ago. I mean,
Wow.
I would have just, man, I don't know how. I mean, the story is tough, and I know we're going to get more into it. And
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed the questions more than just telling it, because the questions kind of like help me pinpoint
Yeah. Wow.
specifics,
How
because
many
it's so
foster
much.
homes were you in, Mr. U?
Oh man, God, I can't even remember. That's a good question. Before we landed in the group home that we was in, I think we were probably in 4 or 5 different foster
Over
homes
a period of how long?
from the age 7, and I think we went into that group home that we was primarily placed in for a long time.
Uh-huh.
I went into that. We went into that when I was going into junior high school, so
Oh
I
my
had to be like
gosh.
somewhere between. I had to be somewhere, Steve. I had to be somewhere junior high school, so I had to be like what, 11 and
14?
12.
Yeah, 13, 12, 11, something like that.
Yeah,
Wow.
starting seventh
So there's
grade.
all these different homes. Let me just paint the picture here. So at 7, you're put into foster care with your little brother, who's probably at that time 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah,
And then you go through a process up to junior high where you're in all these different foster homes, in and out, in and out, in and out. Occasionally you get to see your siblings. Occasionally, once in a while, you get to see your mother. And then you're putting in these foster homes. And then all of a sudden you're shifted to a group home.
yeah.
Now, the group home is how big? How many members in the
Group
group?
home. The group home was huge, Steve.
Oh my gosh.
And it's
Seriously.
still there. It's crazy because it's still there. It's called Brentwood Children's Home.
Is that right?
And
Where's that located? Here in
in,
the area?
In Montgomery, Alabama.
Montgomery? Okay.
I grew up in Montgomery, Alabama.
Wow.
I didn't grow up in Texas.
Okay. Well, okay. Wow. So it's still there.
It's still there because some of the staff that still work there, they follow me on Facebook, so
Is
they
that
see
right?
all of this stuff
Oh,
that I'm
that's
doing.
awesome.
So,
I love
yeah,
that. I
yeah, and
love that.
I love seeing that they're still there, still doing the work that they're doing, because it was a lot of kids in that children's home. I'm talking about, it was a lot of kids, like from I think it started like junior high and went through high school, and they helped you transition
Mm-hmm.
into college. So it was a big age like range that
So
was in that
you were
children's
in
home.
the group home all the way through high school then?
Yes, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, all the way till I aged out. Yeah,
Okay, so you aged out at what, 18? Is that when you aged out, when you
yes, sir.
graduated?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's take it there. So get 18 years old, you're now getting ready to graduate. How in the world, with all, and I'm just going to say this because I mean, with all the inconsistency, I'm sure there was some consistencies, but I'm talking about being in and out, in and out. How in the world did you ever figure out what you wanted to do or go to college or whatever? What happened? What happened at that point?
Steve, it was crazy because, like, all the way through, like, even with some of my foster parents, I always loved fashion. Like, it was always,
Oh, really?
it was
Well, I
always
could
my
tell.
thing, Steve.
Oh,
Like,
when I first met you, I knew because I follow you on Facebook, and if anybody does follow me on Facebook, you will see Mr. U. He's always dressed to the hilt. Perfect look going, and it's just amazing. It's just
Steve, I love it. I love fashion, and as a kid, when you're kind of like into those things, sometimes the people around you, they don't understand like why you wear what you wear with confidence and this and that. So a lot of the kids gave me a hard time. They joked on me and cracked and made fun of me or whatever. But I always used to tell them, just because y'all don't understand it, because y'all joke on me, don't mean I'm gonna stop being who I am. So
I love it.
I've always, fashion was always, and it was hard it was hard not to see it, because I always, like, no matter, like, my foster parents, they got our clothes from Walmart. It was a long time before we was able to wear the name brand stuff, but even the cheap stuff or the stuff that was low, like, from Walmart or whatever, I still wore it like it was $1 million.
I bet you did, brother. I bet you did.
I had my own creative energy. I had my own imagination.
It just came natural to you. It was a gift.
It came natural. God gave you? I mean, like, my mom, my grandmother, my granddad, my daddy, on both sides, like, they were fashion influencers. Like,
Is that right?
Man, wow. Absolutely. Like, my mom, my grandmother, God rest her soul. I'm talking about the hats, the sunglasses, the makeup, the starch jeans, the clean. It's like it runs in my blood. It's in my blood, literally.
Wow, that is absolutely beautiful.
It's in my blood. It really is. Like, my grandmother always had a closet full of nice pieces. My mom, my mom and my dad are still living. Like, they always, my dad, what I do remember, my mom, like, they always were fashionable, always.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. And so you were fashionable in high school as well. I bet that.
Absolutely, Steve. I used to be the only kid in the school walking around with slacks, shirt tucked in, dress shoes on, sunglasses, walking during the hall. It's like I always was like this. It's like
I love it. I love it.
And kids used to think I was a substitute teacher walking down the hallway. Because I never did the sagging pants. And
a lot of that went on.
I never did that. It never fit my body type, so I just never did it.
That is absolutely amazing. That is amazing. I'd always see you in a hat too. Some kind of hat you got going on. Glasses you got going on. I mean, did you ever get in trouble in school for any of that because how fashionable you were? And did it draw attention?
No, it didn't draw negative attention. I think. I mean, as far as the students, a lot of kids gave me a hard time. They joked on me, but after a while, they see that they wasn't changing me. Next thing you know, you see other kids walking down the hallway with sunglasses on.
Influencer, brother. That's who you are. Influencer. I absolutely love it.
I've been an influencer, and I played sports, Steve. I played football, basketball, ran track, all of that, and I did it all the time.
We're going to take a quick break, and as soon as we get back, I want to talk a little bit about how that fit with sports and everything, because I love it. Then we're going to continue to talk about your growth and where you've been and what you're doing now. But we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll get back with Mr. U on the Leader's Edge. Are you ready to elevate your organization with a team of transformational leaders? Do you want to attract and nurture top talent while enhancing communication and productivity across generations? Hi, I'm Steve Steele, co-host of The Leader's Edge, and your coach with the Maxwell Leadership Team. My program equips leaders with essential skills and resources to lead, coach, and communicate effectively, ensuring everyone thrives. With tailored insights and proven strategies, I'm here to help your entire organization succeed. So reach out today at growthinleadership@gmail.com or visit johncmaxwellgroup.com/Steve Steele. Hey everyone, welcome back to Leader's Edge. I'm Steve Steele, your host, with our special guest today, Mr. U. Wow, it was powerful. So okay, we were talking about earlier. We talked about your going through the foster care and how you ended up in several foster cares. Then went into a group home. We had a lot. You said it was a large group home, a lot of people.
It was
a
huge.
lot of children. And then we talked a little bit about you going through high school. So, but you were a little different. You were a very fashionable person in high school. Can you give me what you wore on a typical day? So we can kind of get that image in our mind.
Back then, like the early 2000s, the late 90s, it wasn't no school uniforms yet, okay, guys? Yeah. So, elementary school, beginning of junior high, I wasn't so much into the name brand stuff yet because, like I said, my mom was struggling. We were just going into the foster care system. So they gave us like vouchers for clothes and things of that nature. So, they always went to the Paylesses and the Walmarts and all of these, low brand stores. And Steve, I just always had my style where I wore the clothes just different. I just, the way I would style them, or the way I would exhibit the confidence, the way I would bring the clothes to life. And like I said, I played sports. So, I was really able to find my confidence when I started playing sports, right? So I really, at that point, got into girls and, started really looking at different fashion trends and things of that nature because, when you're on a football team, it's a team of you guys are always running together. So I started really observing what some of the other players were wearing, the Jordans and the designer clothes. And I just started transition. So, once we was in the foster care system and we was able to get like the little summer jobs and things of that nature, I was able to start to like pretty much like invest into my own liking when it comes to like clothes and fashion. And, it still was untraditional. Like the way I wore my pants and the way I would tuck my shoes behind my pants, behind my shoes, and the way I would pop my collars on my shirts and my jackets. And, it was just different. I always wore sunglasses. A lot of people meet me now and they be like trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm like, I've always been like this. It's always been my style.
There's nothing wrong with your eyes. It's just your style.
It's nothing wrong with my eyes, right? It's just that I'm a fashion influencer. So
yeah.
I literally it reaps from me. So it's nothing like a character or a mask that I'm wearing. I'm truly being myself.
Absolutely. I mean, every time I've seen you, I don't know when I haven't seen you without sunglasses or your suits are popping, man. I mean, everything's always, there's also a little glitter going on or saw something happen. When Mr. U walks into the room, everybody knows it's different. That's just the way it is. I don't care if we're in a small little group, and I've seen you in small little groups and I've seen you in bigger groups. It doesn't matter. You are the same everywhere you go, and I love that about you because
yes, sir. And I'm always gonna be myself. I tell people all the time is nobody that I want to be, right? Even though I had people growing up that I used to see on BET or see on HBO, and I just see these different movies, and I always picked out the person who was the flyest in the movie or the flyest person in the video, right? Because I always had an eye for it. But to be perfectly authentic, I love being myself. I love my swag. I love the way I, for a while, it's like I wasn't, going through the system and having all these questions and wondering why this and why that. But I love who God made me out to be. I've learned to embrace my story, right? And how to use it to empower and inspire other people. I love this journey that I'm on, right? So, and I just want to teach other people. I just want to teach other people that their story have power too. Their story has purpose. Even though sometimes when we're going through it, Steve, we don't necessarily understand why in the moment because, so we're just we're human. We're just like that. But we tend to categorize things if it feels good or if it doesn't, right? So if it doesn't feel good, we tend to not like it. But even that not like, God has a purpose for it. So
absolutely. So you're in high school, you got the fashion thing going on, you play in sports. Did you graduate from high school? After you graduated, did you go on to college? Or where did that fashion thing take you?
Okay, so that's a great question. So I got discovered by a talent agency at the age of 15 years old.
No, you did not. Really?
Yes, sir. So
Wow.
when
How
I
did you get
graduated high school,
recognized?
yeah,
How-
I was actually working. I was working this summer job
Uh-huh.
in
Okay.
in the group home, and I
Uh-huh.
think it was McDonald's. I was working at McDonald's. I was back in the kitchen,
Uh-huh.
and this talent scout and two of her assistants came into the McDonald's and pointed me out. Right,
Wow.
because even at work, Steve, it's crazy because even when I was working like regular jobs and I still wore my work uniforms different.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And
I
they
can't
and they
make
let
it
you
up.
do it. You know,
It's like something. It's almost like something I can't turn off, Steve. It's like God gave me that, and it's like
oh,
it's
it's
just
beautiful, brother.
the thing is like everybody has that thing too. Everybody
Uh-huh.
has
Yep.
their thing.
Yeah, they do.
Whether they've tapped into it or not, they have a thing that God has gifted you. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
that's right. That's
It
right. I
is
believe that.
it's true.
Yeah, it's true. So
It's
you're at
true.
McDonald's, you get recognized by these two talent
And
scouts.
they invited me to their casting call. They had a casting call coming up that Friday, and it
And
was
you're
at a
15.
local.
You're 15 years old.
Yes,
Oh my
sir.
gosh.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And it was at a local Holiday Inn in Montgomery, Alabama, right off the freeway. It was
Okay.
like I'd never forget this hotel. And went to the hotel, walked in. We had all of this paperwork to fill out, it was an agency, whatever. So went in, filled out this application. They took pictures of us and stuff. And, we had to like do like this walk and all these other different things to kind of like audition. And they selected me. And I remember to this day.
You had no training in that. You just
I
got
had
selected.
no training, but I had the look, Steve. I had
Yeah.
this look. I was very skinny. I was tall, and my skin complexion was what they looked for. I had a low.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have a beard yet, but I had,
No.
I had a little goatee. I had like a little mustache, and it was crazy because
Yeah, but you
I
had
started
the,
throwing
you had
facial
the
hair in
glasses going
elementary.
on, brother. You had the glasses going on. I know that for a fact.
Steve, I had a mustache in the freaking 6th grade, bro.
No.
Yes.
Seriously?
In elementary, I had a mustache.
And these scouts love that.
They love that. I looked very mature for my age.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
And
So okay, that was 15. So shoot me up to where now you're out of school, out of high school.
So out of school, so I ended up getting a couple of jobs, working around town, doing different things, and I mean, none of them were really temporary. I think the longest job I had was like 4 years. I was working at this Hyundai supplier.
Really?
Yep, I was working at this Hyundai supplier in Montgomery, Alabama. The name of the plant was called Holla, Halla, and we was doing the condenser fans and injection molding, and it was. I remember that like it was yesterday. It was crazy because a lot of my coworkers that worked there, we were there for years, working 10 hours, 12-hour shifts, rotating shifts.
You're still trying to do your fashion thing all at the same time.
I mean, like I said, Steve, even going to school, because at that point I had my own place, and you know what I'm saying, and I had my own car, so it was just pretty much me and whatever my friends I had or whatever. But I even then, like Steve, I was in it. Like I went to work with heavy starch pants, and my uniform shirt was always
fresh.
I always maintain a pretty, different hairstyle or haircut. And we had to wear safety goggles. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't wear my sunglasses, but it was still eyewear, right? Mm-hmm. So I should just kind of like get the ones that were tinted.
Yeah. Of course you did. Of course you did.
You know what I'm saying? And it was things like I got into relationships, like that factor of life is crazy, but had a few relationships, you know what I'm saying, with few ladies, and just really started to like transition into adulthood. But I ended up losing that job. Because like one of my supervisors is crazy, but one of my supervisors really started like hating on me, right? It was crazy.
Wow.
I mean, I can just tell, he was picking on me. Like he was like doing different things to kind of like just single me out. And I knew what it was. But I stood up for myself, and I was like letting him know like I wasn't coming to work for that. I was coming to work to like make a paycheck and go home and just whatever. But he wanted he wanted some drama. So I end up losing that job, and I end up getting workman's comp, of course, because I didn't quit. You know, it was like the whole thing.
Right.
But anyway, I knew at that point, I felt like it was in my spirit. I'm like, okay, this is happening. And it's crazy because, Steve, like, I've been really good all my life of turning negatives into the positives.
Right.
So when I lost that job, I felt like, okay, this is an opportunity for me to go and pursue my dreams of being in the fashion industry.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's really when I just struck out, and I'm like, I'm about to go for it. I'm about to leave Alabama. I'm going to sell my, furniture in my apartment. I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee at the time. I said, I'm going to pack this car down, and I'm about to drive to New York.
Okay.
Which is, people in the fashion, we know that New York is the fashion capital of the world. So I'm like, I'm going to go there, and I'm going to, start from the bottom if I have to and work my way up. But I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what was in my blood. So it was like, I want to go and see what God has for me.
Wow.
And, with making that decision, it was a hard decision. And, my little brother, all this time being in the system together and growing up together, having our own apartments, and he got a key to my place, I got a key to his place, this whole thing. But he was really upset that I was leaving. He was really upset that I was leaving, but I was, I told him and my older sister, like, I had to go and do this because I wanted to venture off and live my life. I didn't want to stay there and be the example and be this person that they looking up to for whatever. I was like, no, I want to go and live my life and see what God has for me. And I did that.
Wow. You went to New York.
I actually made a pit stop. I actually stopped my mom was living in Detroit, Michigan. So I stopped in Detroit, Michigan to visit family. I had my baby brother and my baby sister that was in care.
Okay.
My mom came down to Alabama and, somehow got custody of them, and they ended up moving to Michigan. And I wanted to stop and see them and spend some time with them. And I ended up getting in the whirlwind of the mix, and I ended up being in Detroit for 12 years.
Oh, wow.
And Steve, that's really where my fashion career took off. Like I got
Is that right?
Yes,
so
sir.
You didn't need New York.
I still went to New York.
Oh, you did? Okay. Okay. All right. Back me up here.
But while I was in Detroit for those 10 years, I had an opportunity to travel. Like I went to New York, stayed there for like months at a time, and able to visit different agencies and stand in those long lines and apply and audition. And some of them I got booked for and signed contracts. And I love New York. I wish I can go back there and live now, right? But it's so expensive.
It is. It is very expensive.
New York is a different type of expensive, man.
Sure.
But anyway, I embraced every moment. I met a lot of people. I learned a lot about the industry, Steve. And I was able to take that knowledge back to Detroit. Anytime I went to New York and went back to Detroit, it's like I always had this new profound insight of how to do things, right? So I got into producing shows, got into managing artists, and all I really did was duplicated what I was taught. Like when I got discovered by my talent agency and the photo shoots and how they, because I've always been a person of detail. I've always paid attention. I was quiet, but I always was observing, paying attention to what was going on around me, filling the room, like just paying attention. And I learned fast, right? So when I got into business, or when I launched my first business, I just took on and started doing what I was taught. I had a mentor that was a well-known, world-renowned fashion designer that took me under his wing and just taught me, so just taught me a lot. And, I just mimicked and duplicated what I was taught, or what I feel like the higher power was giving me instruction to do.
Exactly.
And so that's how I started my first brand, Underwood Entertainment Group, right? So, I was producing shows, managing artists, sending people on tours, building photo shoots, building marketing materials, portfolios. I mean, that's where it started, styling people. And that's what I love the most about, the talent that God gave me, is the fact that I was able to teach other people how to be confident, teach
Yeah.
other people how to feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really where I, took on the bulk of the knowledge. Was like, okay, it's not for me. It's for me to teach other
Give
people
out, to
too.
give. Yeah. Well, you cannot
So,
give what you do not have. And you
exactly.
had it, brother. You had it.
Yes.
So now you're
Yeah.
able to give it. I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. Beautiful. That's beautiful.
It's so much. It's so amazing too, Steve. As I think back, and I love doing interviews like this, uh, because I have an opportunity to let my mind just be free and reflect
Mm-hmm.
and feel it's okay, right? Because there was a point in my life where I felt so bad about my story. I felt so ashamed of it,
Really,
because I
really.
didn't understand why yet.
Mm-hmm.
I used to ask God, like, why do I do this like this? Why am I like that? Or why did I have to go through that? Or why did I have to go through this? And it was just dark. It was just those blanks where that wasn't filled in yet. And, you know, but when I was able to find those safe spaces, Steve, it really allowed me to become who God had me destined to be. And that's really lies in your authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what helps anybody look at themselves in the mirror and find acceptance. When you can be authentic and feel like it's okay and not worry about what other people think or worrying about fitting in or all of that stuff right there, I was able to accept myself and realize like I am wonderfully and perfectly made and who God wants me to be, not who somebody else wants me to be, and stop searching for validation and find it in myself. And that's really what helped me start my first brand. Because when I was in Detroit, I was searching for agencies, I was searching for gigs on social media, and I looking for all of these rooms to fit in. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna stop trying to do all of that, and I'm gonna start my own brand. And I'm gonna be the opportunity. I'm gonna create the opportunities. I'm gonna become the way, right? So that's what I did. I started my first business, and got into producing shows, and man, doors just started swinging open. And I just feel like it was confirmation. It was confirmation that I was doing what God was, He built me to do. So
Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Mr. U, I want to talk about, we're going to take a quick break here in a sec, but I want to talk about when we come back. You made a statement there a minute ago, and I can't remember exactly how you said it, but it really caught my attention to the fact that, you had to find your identity. You needed to know where that was. And I know what you're doing today. I know you're still in I know that you've been in fashion for a long time and you kind of stepped back from it a little bit, but now you're back into it again. I know that too.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to talk about that, but I want to talk about what that meant to you when you said, I needed to find my identity and what I really was, because I know what I've seen the arena that you're in, and I want to talk about a little bit about that. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about where Mr. U's going next and what's going on. So
This is going to be good.
yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We'll be right back to the Leader's Edge.
All right, podcasters, let's be honest for a second. If your show sounds like it was recorded inside of a tin can, in your cousin's basement, in a van down by the river with your dog barking in the background, it's time for an upgrade. That's where 216 Creator Studios comes in, the home of real production, real people who actually know what all those shiny buttons do. They've got pro mics, top-tier editing, and lighting that makes everyone look like they slept 8 hours, even if you didn't. Whether you're just starting out or you've been podcasting since people were still saying, smash that like button, give me a thumbs up. 216 Creator Studio helps you sound crisp, confident, and ready for the big leagues. So stop recording in your car, stop arguing with your USB mic, and get into 216 Creator Studios, where your podcast finally sounds as good as you think it does.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Leader's Edge. I'm your host, Steve Steele, with our special guest today, Rondregus Underwood, known as Mr. U. Oh yeah, brother. We talked a lot about your in that last segment about your fashion industry and how you got into fashion. That you went to Detroit, spent 12 years there. Then you went to New York, spent a lot of time there, and that's when your really doors started to really open up for you. You became a producer. You did all kinds of different doors just started opening up, right?
Yes,
but there was some success there, but things changed again. And I know what you're doing today. So kind of lead us to how that transition, how that took place.
Yes, sir. That was, I mean, yeah, it was a lot of success there. While I was living in Detroit, and traveling, I had a chance, like I said, to go to New York, had a chance to go to Chicago, had a chance to go to Vegas, had a chance to, go to Atlanta market. And I did a lot of traveling. Pursuing the fashion industry. I landed some roles and playing in movies and as like special featured extra and all type of stuff, man. Working with celebrities and it was beautiful, man. And it was like really in my 20s and my early 30s, man. It was just, it was memories, man. It was memories. I think the first time I really went really big is when I did a magazine cover. First magazine cover I did. I've been on many magazine covers. A lot of people don't know that, but humbly, yes, I've had those opportunities to be published several times. And that first magazine cover I did, Steve, it went throughout the city, and people just knew me. They was like, see me out at the grocery store, or see me out downtown somewhere. People like, hey, that guy, Mr. You know what I'm saying? And it was just beautiful, man. And
let me ask you a question real quick. When did Mr. U come into being? The name Mr. U. Yeah, I want to know that.
When
I New York or
no, it was actually when I in Detroit when I got married, right?
Okay.
Yep. And then when I got married and still in the industry, a lot of people was finding my first name hard to pronounce, like Rondregus. Some people just I don't know. They So some of the people in the fashion industry started calling me Mr. U.
Wow.
And I took it and branded it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that was like so many years ago, Steve. That was probably like 20 years ago, bro. That name has stuck.
Yeah, I changed it to Dr. U, but I'll go with Mr. U because that's your brand.
I like Dr. U too. It's like the abbreviation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love it. And yeah, so that's when they start calling me Mr. U. So Mr. U has, been
had it a long time.
A long time. And so I ended up moving to Ohio, Steve. I moved to Ohio and I worked at this mall called Polaris Mall. It was a big upscale, luxurious mall. I worked at Macy's, worked at Saks Fifth Avenue, and I did that for like a year. Mm-hmm. And I ended up transitioning, going back to Detroit. And Steve, it just felt like the energy was gone. It was, a new breed of, models and fashion people on the scene. And I just felt like I had did everything that I needed to do there. And it was crazy because some of my peers said the same thing. They was like, Mr. you did a lot here, like fast. Like you was like doing multiple shows a day, all types of stuff, like different historic parts around downtown. It was just a lot. So I said, you know what? I want to expand. I want to keep growing. I want to meet some new people, build some new relationships. And I heard Texas. I heard in my spirit, Texas.
So you go back to Detroit and you heard your spirit, Texas?
Yeah.
Well, that's a big difference.
Yeah. And it wasn't no fear, though, because the thing, like, growing up, Steve, I had already faced so many scary, dark situations that once I became an adult and I felt like this, and I hear this whisper from, God or the higher power telling me to go, I'm going. It's only a matter of time. So that's how when I heard Texas, the fashion industry.
Did you know anybody in Texas, or did you just come to Texas?
I didn't know anybody. Like, I'm still here now. I'm like here by myself. Like, I don't have any relatives or family members here in Dallas with me. So.
Yeah, but I know there's a lot of people who love you. I know there's a
Yeah, now,
lot of people who love you, brother.
yeah, now because Steve, I sit on this board of this nonprofit organization, Heart Profit. I've been on the board of other nonprofits as well, but that one probably the longest. And
By the way, we're going to have the founder of that nonprofit on our show in about 2 or 3 weeks, Stacey
yes,
Wright. So
she
yeah,
is amazing. She is amazing. Stacey became one of those safe spaces for me that really pole vaulted my whole speaking and advocacy career. Like before I even got on her board, I was just a really strong supporter of Heart Profit because what they stand for and their mission is just incredible. And I had a meeting with her, and ever since then she heard my heart and heard that I was in the foster care. I grew up as a foster youth, and she used to be a CASA, right? And work with a lot of people in the foster care world and foster care industry. So she ended up jumping on the phone once she heard my story and just connected me to so many people. And here I am years later with being on her board. Man, Steve, I done spoke on so many stages, so many, like I'm talking about at the casinos, different. Oh my God, Steve! I can't. If you ask me how many, I done lost count a long time ago.
So you get to tell your story all the time.
Oh, for sure. So many different ways, so many different capacities, so many different approaches, so many different angles. Because each platform has been different. Each opportunity, each body of audience has been different. So it's like you always want to, and I'm really good with it. I can walk into a room, Steve, and just feel the room. I can feel the emotion. I can feel where people need to hear or where, so I can just feel it. I know it's like a whole different spiritual, emotional connection that goes on with each room that I walk into. Yeah. So I don't think I would have that if God wouldn't have made my story what it was as a youth. Because I was able to pay attention to different type of details. I was able to take on different type of emotions and just, connect with what was going on around me in a different way. So now it's like I have these superpowers that allows me to have compassion and empathy and being able to understand certain situations so incredibly that now, like I tell people, Steve, I thank God for doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. So it's like, how can you not bring God into it? Because like he orchestrated that story. I couldn't have did that, right?
So I'm hearing you say, Mr. Yu, what I'm hearing you say is through all the adversity that you had as a child and even up to your high school years, all the things you went through, then you went through some success, but all of those things, you actually now, looking back, can thank God for it. Because there's a lot of people who don't. A lot of people, they lived a tough life. It's been a rough life. There's some people's lives that have been even worse than what your experiences were or what my experiences are. And they can't plug into that factor of they can thank God for where they're at. Mr. Yu, what do you tell a person when they're like, they had this rough life? And I know you've done a lot of speaking. We have had this rough life, or even maybe it's teenagers or young people, or maybe even young adults. What do you tell an individual? Say, hey, you have to pick yourself up. You have to move on. How do you tell them that? What is your platform on that?
Steve, I'm really big with the energy, right? So it's like when you speak to youth, you speak to young adults, they respond different when you look like them or you've been through what they're going through. So they hear you different, right? They process the words. It grabs their emotions in a whole different way. So it's like I always lead with that energy and just grabbing them like, hey, you got to come up off that. You got to release that. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand. You know what I'm saying? That even though you went through whatever you went through or whatever you're going through right now, you got to understand that your life still has purpose. Like what you went through, it wasn't to define you. That don't make you. It's refining you. It's creating you to be more than you can probably even fathom right now, right? God has a purpose for your life. And you can't give up. You can't stay stagnant. You can't stay where you are. You got to get up off of that. And you got to keep moving, because it's somebody else that needs to hear your story. It's somebody else that you're going to encounter later down the road, and it's going to make sense for you too.
Oh, I love that. That's so true. Because I heard Ned Milet, and I think I've said it on the show before. I've heard Milet say that, a lot of people say, I just don't know if I could. I'm not worthy. I don't know. The thing is that we are, as an individual, the most qualified to tell our story about the things that we went through than anybody else in the world. We're the most qualified to do that.
Absolutely.
And so people say, well, I couldn't help anybody. You can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Your story can help.
Absolutely.
And I always love that. I always go this thing that, facts tell and stories sell. And I will tell you, you have a story. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And I absolutely love the story that you're telling and the story that you've gone through. Now, when you talk to these young people and you talk to these young adults or even older adults, Mr. U, what is it that either lets people fly forward or holds people back? What is it?
It's really the authenticity, right?
Okay.
It's living in your true purpose. You're living in your divine, right? We live in a world where so many things are exhibited. You got social media, you got TV, you got all of these media things. So people are just being pulled in so many directions, but you got to be able to shut that noise off and be able to find your lane, find your authenticity and build it out. And what that looks like is really tuning into it, like finding other people that align with those goals, right? And if you're a part of things that don't align with that goal, be willing and able to just cut it off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So many people care about fitting in, but a lot of times what they're trying to fit into is taking them from who they're supposed to be.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So that's what it takes, that authenticity, even with being a storyteller and a speaker, right? Mm-hmm. We need authentic stories. We need true lived experiences. That's how we make shifts. That's how we shift this thing.
That's right. That's right. And everybody is born with a purpose. I don't care who you are.
Everybody.
The hard part, or I say the hard part, some of the difficult part is, how do we find our purpose? And Mr. U, what do you tell people when you're speaking to them how to find their purpose?
Spend time in solitude.
I love that.
Spend time in solitude, right? Spend time in solitude.
I think the Bible says, be still and know I am God. Yeah.
Spend some time alone. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like turn off all of the noise, turn off all of the distractions. And because God's voice, whether you believe in it or not, I know for a fact is real. His voice is a whisper.
Yes.
It's not loud and thunderous. It's
right.
When he come and speak to you, it's going to be so peaceful.
Yeah.
There's going to be no confusion.
That's right.
He's not going to leave you confused.
It's a still small voice. I think
it really is. I mean, we laugh, but it's true. It is the truth.
I've experienced it. You've experienced it. And I know lots of people who have. And I know that as we process our lives, that there has to be something greater than us that we're actually working toward. Something is greater than us. And you're doing that.
Once you find that, Steve, once you find that, your life is like your life becomes like autopilot. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like not autopilot like in a way that you're out of control, but it's like autopilot where it's like everything that's for you aligns.
Absolutely. I love that. We could talk about that for hours, brother. And we talked about that.
It's like it just free flowing. It just comes to you. Like the opportunities that are for you, they can't miss you.
That's right.
That's facts.
That's absolutely right. But Mr. U, we got about 3 minutes left on the show. This last half went so quickly. But tell us what you're doing. I know it. Tell us what you're doing now and what's going on in your life right now. How we can get a hold of you, how we can reach you, whatever.
Yes, Steve, that's beautiful. I am currently working on 2 fashion shows in production right now. You guys, they got me on my toes. I have an all men's fashion show for Father's Day That's this Saturday in Arlington at the Drip Content and Media House right on Abrams in Arlington.
Wow. Arlington,
So,
Texas. Yeah.
Arlington, Texas, man. We try to make Arlington the spot again, but it's beautiful venue, man. I got all my male models. I got my designers. I'm going to be hosting it. DJ Smooth is going to be on the 1 and 2. You know, he's on the radio station. So
yeah.
this is going to be an exciting night. So you guys come out and follow and support the fathers. And July 26th is going to be my next major fashion show. It's going to be women and men, kids. And I have this beautiful venue in Frisco. So you guys stay tuned for that. I'll be dropping more content on that once I get past this Father's Day event. It's been busy. But you guys can definitely find me on all platforms, Mr. U. Yeah, my website.
Type in Mr. U, you'll find it.
Everything, Mr. U, you'll find me. And my website is IamMrU.com. So you guys definitely hit me up, support me. I got some events coming on later this year for the foster care community. I got some beautiful events coming up, man, guys. So you guys definitely stay locked in with me. I appreciate the support, Steve, man. It's been incredible knowing you, Doc.
Brother, I've come to love you as a brother, and I tell you what, I can't wait to see you in person again. We're going to have to do coffee because since we're local, we'll have to get together real quick. I'm excited about that. Thank you so much today, Mr. U, for being on my show. Next week on The Leader's Edge, unlock your potential and elevate your leadership journey with Coach Miss Lisa Arundel, a dynamic speaker. And I'm telling you what, she can talk. And a coach dedicated to inspiring growth and success in every individual she meets. Also, on The Leader's Edge, just as a reminder, you can find The Leader's Edge on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you're listening to your favorite podcasts. And if you find value into these conversations, hit that subscribe button or follow to stay connected. I want to thank you all, our listeners and friends, because without you, The Leader's Edge would never be possible. I'm so grateful to have you here, and I'm so excited to connect with you next time. So have a great day, everyone.